Utter domination. That's what it's been for the Edmonton Oilers recently at Rogers Place. 13 wins in their last 15 games. And that's what it's been historically against the Seattle Kraken. That man, Joey Decord, will try to change that for the Kraken. He's never beaten in Edmonton, winless in 5 prior starts, but he's played very well for the Kraken this year, as those numbers would indicate. He's 4-2 in his last 6 starts, with a save percentage of better than 93. Stuart Skinner's on baby watch, so that man, Calvin Pickard, will get the call. He's won 8 of 9, including a win over Seattle in the team's first matchup this year, back on January the 4th, where he needed to make just 16 saves in a 4-2 victory. But the big story, of course, tonight is Connor McDavid's return from a 3-game suspension. He comes in as the league's 5th leading scorer, despite missing chunks of the season on 2 separate occasions. The Oilers have gone 4-2 in his absence. McDavid starts his return with a face-off win against Matty Beniers, and we're underway. Edmonton has beaten Seattle 7 consecutive times, 10-2 historically, and the Kraken will take an icing call right out of the gates here, 13 seconds in. McDavid playing with Draisaitl and Hyman to start, Louis, for only the 5th time this year. They're 3-1 in the prior 4 games defensively at Coleman Bouchard. Your starting line's brought to you by Scotiabank, believing there's a place for all Canadians in Canada's game. Louis, you expect McDavid to be on a bit of a mission tonight.
I do, and I like that Chris Knobloch has loaded up the top line. Put Connor and Leon together to start things off in the right way. Big discussion before this faceoff, obviously looking for a faceoff play. But for the Edmonton Oilers, get out to a good start with the big line. You have Trump, might as well lead him.
Draisaitl. Are we playing hearts? Here's McDavid. Tripped up, and he's drawn a penalty. 30 seconds into his return. Edmonton will get an extra attacker on, and that extra attacker is Corey Perry. He scoots onto the ice. Draisaitl tried to feed him, and it was picked off by Brandon Montour. And this is what, you and I have done a lot of these Edmonton-Seattle games together, and it seems like Edmonton always gets off to a quick start. That's an obvious call against Evans.
Right, Evans just a little far in, gets a little poke on the skate as well as a little push on the back, and that's where the penalty's drawn. And after a face-off loss, it's McDavid that gets to that puck first. Dan Bilesma obviously not happy with the start here. You don't want to see your team go down on the penalty kill early in a game, especially when the top line hasn't been out there long enough to have to go off for the shift. They'll remain on the ice.
2 goals in the first 5 minutes for Edmonton. First go-around against Seattle. Here's Nugent-Hopkins on the power play. McDavid tries to shovel it inside for Draisaitl, broken up. The Oilers with the 7th-ranked power play in the league. Here's Nugent-Hopkins tossing it back to Bouchard. Now it's McDavid. It's around Mitchell Stevens. Takes a look at the inside. And off to Nugent-Hopkins. One-timer off the post from Leon Draisaitl. Can't believe he missed basically a wide-open net. Louis and I had a great look at that. It was yawning. Here's McDavid across. Draisaitl one-timer on that one, blistered off the shoulder of Joey Decord. And Seattle under fire early. Bouchard, that pass eludes McDavid. Hyman down low and twisted the other way for Jamie Alexiak. I know this sounds ridiculous, Louis, 90 seconds in. This seems like a big kill for me with Seattle because of the poor starts they've always gotten off to.
I agree, and especially like you mentioned, the record against Edmonton, it just starts to play havoc on your mind.
Here's McDavid off the rush, blistering one off the glass. This Oiler power play brought to you by Play Alberta Sportsbook. And here comes Jared McCann, shorthanded. Chandler Stevenson, he's in! And flipped one wide. Nugent-Hopkins just enough pressure to force that shot off target 2 minutes into the game. Both teams have had terrific looks.
Chandler Stevenson, such a great skater, and just a little poke out of the zone, and he's off to the races.
Darnell Nurse wasn't sure he'd play, did not take the morning skate. He's a little bit under the weather. McDavid to Nugent-Hopkins, not much on that pass back to Nurse, fed down low. McDavid point blank tried to flip it in front, and Hyman failed to bury it. Here's Nugent-Hopkins, tried to thread it across, and that was cleared by Josh Mahura, and that will bring the Oiler power play inside 15 seconds. So Draisaitl, who missed an empty net in Edmonton's 3-2 win over Buffalo on Saturday, this time hits the post on the power play and stopped by Decord. Henrique over, and Arvidsson tried a one-timer and ended up on his backside. Sent the other way by Brandon Tanev. Up to Jamie Alexiak. His shot squeezed near the post by Calvin Pickard. He'll freeze it. Officially, just a couple shots on that Oiler power play. And, of course, Draisaitl hit the post.
And really hard, and this was a wide open net. You could see Decor trying to look around Hyman in front of the net. He did not react to the pass across. McDavid, another beautiful pass across. That's a good read by Decor. Gets the shoulder on that one. And then shorthanded, it's Stevenson off to the races. Nice pass by McCann, as you mentioned, right onto the tape. And a good backtrack by Nugent-Hopkins just to make him force that play a little quicker than he wanted to.
And Stevenson's been hot, as you know. Lately, Seattle's picked it up a little bit. The Kraken have won 3 of their last 4. They're 8 points out of a playoff spot at 22, 25, and 3. Meanwhile, the Oilers at 31, 15, and 3 can move back into sole possession of first place with a win over their Pacific Division rival. Noah Philp against Shane Wright, and Philp's going to be chased out here. Bearing down and winning the draw was Connor Brown for the Oilers. Brett Kulak looking to avoid John Hayden, the 9-year pro, who draws in tonight for Seattle. Such a leader for their American League club the last couple of years in the Coachella Valley. Played for Dan Bilesma. Here's Noah Philp controlling that puck in his feet down low to Matthias Janmark. Brown, Kulak a drive, and that sailed wide. Stepping up, Emberson took a pop from Eli Tolvanen, and the puck squirts loose behind the net. Grabbed by Brown. He'll survey and try to swing it in front, deflect it away, and now we've got a 2-on-1. Wright and Hayden. Wright a second time inside to Hayden. Off the pads of Pickard and then pumped in the back of the net. Eli Tolvanen with Pickard having been interfered with, but I think that was friendly fire. Pickard's not sure who hit him, but Tolvanen for now credited with his 13th of the year, and it's 1-0 Kraken.
I believe it was Kulak that goes into his own goaltender here, but this pass by Brown, he gets high up into the zone. You have to make that pass through. It gets picked off. Now it's a race here in a 2-on-1. Kulak does a nice job to get back, but then he pile drives through Pickard right there on the rebound. It's just a following up of Tolvanen. Yep, it's Kulak that makes the contact. Yes, there's some contact with Hayden too, and they are having a little conversation here.
I'm just wondering, because that left arm, yeah, the call on the ice is a goal. And did you see how Kulak's left arm gets extended out there, Louis? That's going to be tough to overturn, because the perception, even if there's not much contact there, is that he's pushing off. They are going to review it.
He is challenging.
Yeah.
Chris Knobloch motion right away to challenge. So although it is Kulak that bumps into him second, I think what they're looking at right now on the Oilers bench is the fact that Hayden goes in on his own free will a little bit here and makes the first contact. There's no question he's in the blue paint and he makes the contact. The question now is, was it Kulak that shoved him? Was it enough of a shove? Did he have an ability to not make the contact? I don't know if I really like this challenge on first look, but let's look at it again. And here it is. Now, Hayden's the one out front. There is a tiny little arm. He stops, but he does stop in the blue paint.
And he stopped too late to avoid the blue paint.
He did. Like, I mean, he could have easily avoided the blue paint by not going in there. I don't think this is a hard enough shove. Now, the residual by Kulak going through obviously is what kind of knocks into Pickard, but there's no question there is some action in the blue paint. Ooh. It's a tough one for me.
Coach's Challenge brought to you by Specsavers. Quality eyewear and eye care should be affordable for all. Should have gone to Specsavers. The one thing
Not
is...
seen enough there, to be honest, but there is contact. He is in the blue paint. Kulak does push him after he's in the blue paint, I would tell you.
And your point about Hayden going free will, he tries to put the brakes on, but he does too late, Louis. So that's where...
And he does make contact.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to move for Calvin Pickard. I mean, if you look at it just from that standpoint, he does impede him. No question, right there. He's got to get his hand up.
After review of call, the ice confirmed we got a good goal. Edmonton's got a minor penalty for delayed game.
Yeah, so there's the...
I understand why they challenged it. I did. And you know what? It could have gone either way, in my opinion. It's a tough one, though. The thing that sold it was the last view we saw there right before they made the decision. If you look at Calvin Pickard, his glove is up to protect himself from Hayden. His glove is up in front of him to protect himself from the guy coming right into the crease, which he did come into the crease willingly. Could have gone either way, and I think for Chris Knobloch, he thinks it could have gone the other. But nonetheless, it's 1-0 in a power play for Seattle.
He's got a penalty kill that's been pretty solid the last couple months. I think that factored into his decision as well. Adam Henrique tried to feed the front, broken up, and played back through center. Seattle power play this year, 24th in the league, 18%. Nugent Hopkins a shot from the slot. That's stopped by Joey Decourt, and then a steal on Chandler-Stevenson. And Nugent Hopkins, who scored twice, including the game winner against Buffalo. A pest on the PK, and now he and Adam Henrique will change. Vince Dunn, back pass to Oliver Bjorkstrand. Thus far, this Seattle power play has done nothing. 40 seconds in. Finally, Stevenson brings it across the blue line. Leaves it in the corner for Matty Beniers. Squirts out to Connor Brown, on to Janmark, and it's fired down the ice. The other thing I'll say is perception sometimes feeds reality, and Kulak getting that left arm extended, I don't think, helped the cause. Even though, you're right, Louis, not much of a push. It's just once you get your arm extended, sometimes Burakovsky, it becomes automatic.
If I'm looking at it, though, he had the option to not go in the blue print.
Correct.
He could have avoided it. He chose not to. So I can see why they challenged it, but I mean, my guess is as good as anybody on those this year.
There's Capo Kakko. He's been hot lately for Seattle. 3 goals, 9 points in his last 8 games. Came over from the New York Rangers, and he's gotten some new life, but this Seattle power play has been devoid of life as Edmonton another length of the ice clear. Brandon Montour. Brown, Ekholm, and Janmark create another turnover. Brown forces it back down low, and I'll tell you what, any momentum Seattle might have had from scoring first and then getting on the power play has been negated. This has been a dreadful power play to this point. Kakko to Beniers, Montour, Beniers. No shots on the Seattle power play, which is over. Montour a backhander, and that ends up in the corner for Beniers. Mark that one down, Louis. I mean, that was a power play where Seattle really lost some momentum.
Opportunity to really, after a call that goes their way on a challenge, and then maybe to make it 2-0 would have been big for Seattle.
This period brought to you by James H. Brown Accident Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters in injury law.
And for Edmonton, their penalty killing gets them out of that little bit of a hassle. So the challenge didn't go their way. They kill off the 2 minutes. And as they always do, loading up the top line after a successful or unsuccessful penalty kill. Tonight, they don't have to load it up. They just go with it.
Nurse up the left-hand side. Draisaitl and Zach Hyman. Bottled up in the corner. Wrestled free by Draisaitl. McDavid, Draisaitl, McDavid. Spinning behind the net, tried to center, and that was broken up. Came right back to him. McDavid centered again off the pads of Joey Decourt, and the rebound chopped through the middle of the ice. Here's McDavid. Back to Draisaitl. Bouchard's shot was blocked. You played against Dan Bilesman, never with him, correct?
I did play with him, yep, down in the International Hockey League in Long Beach, California.
That was a team of characters.
There you go.
The Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation 50-50 presented by Rogers is back for another record-breaking season. Support communities across oil country and win big at edmontonoilers.com/50-50.
That Long Beach team, as I recall, had some tough guys on it. Or was that the Vegas team? Who was tougher?
Too.
Vegas was tougher
that year too, but we were both really tough. Once we went over to Long Beach, both teams were pretty physical. We used to have some pretty good battles, but.
Do you have Todd Gillingham in Long Beach?
He wasn't in Long Beach at that time. No.
Oh, okay.
He did play there, but not with me.
He put up a 20-goal, 376-minute year one time. I remember when you would walk into Long Beach Arena, there was a huge mural of Todd Gillingham. Here's Zach Hyman. A shot that was juggled, controlled by Joey Decourt, chipped up the right-hand side. And now you've got Chandler-Stevenson with Stetcher back defensively. Drop pass pounded on net. A save made by Pickard against Josh Mahura, who has not scored in his last 104 games played. Going back more than 2 years. Mahura shoots it in. Of course, a local product. It's about 20 minutes away in St. Albert. Stetcher. Off to Kasperi Kapanen. Kulak the outlet. Corey Perry twisted toward the Seattle net. Grabbed by Evans, and he'll slam it off the glass while being belted by Noah Philp.
Good hit. That's a heavy, hard hit by Noah Philp on the forecheck, and a little tap by Corey Perry coming onto the bench.
Kind of hit that keeps you in the lineup.
Likes to see that. A big kid, he can get his feet moving, and he's starting to find those feet moving a little faster in the NHL. And that was a good, hard hit on Raker Evans.
Arvidsson shoveled it in. Seattle looked to break the puck out, turned it over, put Colson, drop pass, and Arvidsson shot ricocheted just wide through a screen to Cord. Bouchard stepped up on Tolvanen, who gave Seattle the 1-0 lead. Shane Wright a bit of a drive-by, and Tolvanen has to send it over to Evans. I don't believe there was a touch there. No, they're going to give Jared McCann the benefit of the doubt. Edmonton bench is hot. They feel like that should have been icing. Arvidsson pass to Henrique, calling for that puck back. One touch to put Colson, back to Adam Henrique. Kulak, a wrist shot that's smothered by John Hayden. Nurse, one-timer Arvidsson, and that was blocked. Rebound grab by Hayden. Lead pass for Brandon Tanev, didn't hold it. That was on target. Hayden, the enduring image you have of John Hayden is that knockout of Foligno. Tanev trying to set up Mitchell Stevens. Pass eluded him. Vince Dunn is open. A drive and a save made by Calvin Pickard. 9 minutes into this first period, the Kraken have built a 1-0 lead. Eeli Tolvanen draws first blood for the Kraken.
Then at 10:25, line rushes with Zach Hyman and Leon Draisaitl. Solo rushes just half past 32 after 10 a.m. Then it's net front drill, exits the ice, a little bit of media, and then at the end of it says, thank you, and goodbye. And he was, as Louis and Jack heard this morning, he said antsy, and he had a fire in his eyes, and he still got it tonight.
And the Oilers, though, trailing 1-0. Traditionally good starters against Seattle. Draisaitl hits a post. DeCord makes a good save. And then the Kraken are able to bang one in at the other end. So, ideal start for visiting Seattle, coming off a 4-1 win at home.
Sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
In fact, this is the only road game over a 9-game stretch for the Seattle Kraken. Front end of a back-to-back, they've got Anaheim at home tomorrow.
I mean, Edmonton has 3 shots on net. 7 for Seattle, so that hasn't been the start that Edmonton wants. They need to start to get going and test and DeCord a little bit more. Power play was great, didn't capitalize on it, and Seattle was able to cash in first.
Beniers to Kakko. Schwartz a slapper and a blocker save made by Pickard, and then Schwartz will throw it around the boards. Stetcher took one from Nugent Hopkins. That won't get out, though. Vince Dunn cut it off, took a shot, and that pinball back to center. When you've had a lot of success against the team, Louis, can complacency set in at all?
I'm sure it can a little bit. I mean, sometimes you're excited, though. It's a team that you've had success against. There's players on this team that have had excellent individual success against Seattle, but it can go the other way.
Dunn a shot that's dropped briefly by Pickard, and then he'll freeze it. With 9:50 to go in this first period, Connor McDavid is back, but Seattle's in front.
Baby watch, him and his wife Chloe. Hope everything's going well with that. It's Tyler Palmer that comes in as the backup goaltender tonight, and he gets the whole array of the whole day, walking in through the parking garage, setting up with the guys before the game. Gets to go out there and warm up, feel the puck, little tap from Connor McDavid. They make him feel really good coming on the ice. He's doing them a big favor, stepping in there and having a great season with the University of Alberta Golden Bears, 11-4 this season. So maybe a little nervous still sitting on an NHL bench, but great to see him out there.
Facing a team from the Pacific Northwest. Of course, he was in Everett last year, won 30 games. Draisaitl to McDavid, a wrist shot. And that's held by DeCord at the expense of Matthias Ekholm. Edmonton trailing 1-0, the early goal for Eeli Tolvanen in support of that man, Joey DeCord, who's the last 2 years emerged as the clear-cut #1 in Seattle ahead of Philip Grubauer.
Yeah, and this is his 7th start in a row for DeCord, so he's getting the lion's share of the starts now, and rightfully so. He's been the better goaltender, and they want to give themselves that opportunity. He's played in the last 9 in some parts because Grubauer's been pulled twice. So he's played a lot, made a couple good early saves.
Signed a 5-year, $25 million extension in October. Certainly the goalie of the future in Seattle, a club that made the playoffs in its second year. Last year missed. And looks like they're going to miss again this year. Burakovsky against Evan Bouchard. Thrust it down low. Stevenson back to the point. That was flubbed by Mahura, who then recovered to steal a pass from Bouchard, and he'll rush back in.
That was a good read by Mahura. Draisaitl was gone.
Shane Wright with a pick-off. Sent it around the boards. Mahura threw it down low. Ekholm could not get it past Alexiak, and a quick chance for Wright. Shot it wide. Wright got off to a slow start this year, but he's really come on over the last 20-25 games. Starting to find his game in his third year. Alexiak and Mahura pursue the puck. Carry in on the forecheck. Finishes his hit. Shook it free for Noah Philp. Swarmed under by Wright. Tried to soccer it out. Kapanen held onto it a second time. Plays down low for Corey Perry. Perry shrugged off a check, then had it hacked off his stick. Kulak across to Darnell Nurse. To Kapanen. Perry needed to find his stick. He does. It turns into a 3-on-3 for Seattle. And then Wright muffed one as he tried to shoot it in. Kicked it back to Montour onto Evans. Through Perry, a sharp angle shot off of Pickard. Juicely sitting there in the slot and finally punched out by Philp to Perry, and it's sent back in. Decord. Brief miscommunication. Henrique was sniffing. Tanev was not yet at center. This is icing against Seattle.
Seen a couple of little fumbles around each net respectively. Evan Bouchard was double teamed, almost turned it over right in the slot, made a nice recovery to get it out of there. And here, Decord comes out, you can see the little shoulder check, and he leaves, and it goes off the stick and skate of Montour and pops right out, but he's able to pop that away before any harm is done.
Mitchell Stevens will line up against Henrique. Won the draw cleanly. Shot was blocked. Arvidsson a second time down low. Emberson tried to center. That kicked off the corner board. Stetcher took a shot and cleared by Evans through the middle of the ice. And icing once more whistled against Seattle, who's come out and outshot Edmonton handily. That early power play for Edmonton, their best looks. And here's Joey Decord. You talked about it, Louis, really starting to come on.
Yeah, highest percentage of a team's wins. They have 22 wins on the season, and he has 17 of them. So pretty strong effort by him coming into this season. And was injured a little bit. We missed him the last time that these two teams met. We didn't get to see him, but he's the guy they want to have between the pipes and give them the best opportunity.
Having said that, Seattle was dreadful in that first game against Edmonton, and Grubauer kept them in the game. Seattle eventually got two in the third period and made a game of it before the Oilers closed the show with an empty netter for a 4-2 victory.
Might have been his best game against Edmonton, you and I were saying, but he still didn't get the win. He's had a tough time with the Edmonton Oilers, and Joey Decord's never beaten them, but this is a team that's had their number. Won the last 7 straight.
McDavid back to Bouchard. He'll have to fall back to center. Threw it across. McDavid to Draisaitl. On his backhand, Leon Draisaitl right through Vince Dunn. McDavid looking inside. Adam Larson, good friend and former teammate. Kulak to Bouchard. Draisaitl. Bouchard a slap shot, and that trying to graze the pads of Decord on its way by. Jaden Schwartz, who always seems to have a game against Edmonton, will drop it off. And it's a reset for Seattle. Vince Dunn a slap pass ahead for Kakko. And it's served up into the Edmonton zone. Nurse will leave it for Kulak. Nurse to Brown. One touch on. Nugent Hopkins carries it into the zone. Brown ducks behind, pursued by Burakovsky. Janmark will angle one, and Kulak took his eye off it. Stolen and centered in front for Bjorkstrand. Went off his skate, booted into the corner by Pickard, and then Burakovsky tried a centering pass for Stevenson. Picked off, and Janmark and Nugent Hopkins the other way. Here's Nugent Hopkins dishing off. Connor Brown finally pulls the trigger and scores. Brown needed a bounce and got one. That's his first goal in 19 games. Janmark might have tipped this.
One of them's off the schneid, that's for sure. And
Janmark.
it looks like Janmark. I mean, it's the way to do it. It's the first goal he scored against the goaltender this season. And you know what? Take it. Doesn't matter how it goes across that line. We're always saying shoot the puck a little bit more. Chris Knobloch has liked this line with the chances they've created. Again, the presence of Janmark in front of the net. A little bit of time given to Connor Brown to get his head up, take a look, and he just funnels this puck to the net. Says, I'm going to take a shot. Why not? It looks like it goes off of Janmark and finds its way in the back of the net. You could hear the thump, and it goes in at a really odd angle. You can see Decord looking to the sky, 1-1. That's a big goal for that line, and Janmark hasn't scored in a long time. He's on the board. There you go.
Game 7 was the last time he scored against the goaltender with Sergei Bobrovsky to pull the Oilers into a 1-1 tie in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Scored an empty netter earlier this year. Adam Henry put Colson trying to center. Well, Brown thought he was off the schneid, but nevertheless, Lou, it's his first point in 11 games, so Brown still will feel good.
Gets the primary. Again, take it. They don't ask how, they ask how many, and sometimes you need a break to have something happen. And for Matthias Janmark, he deserved a break.
And Decord will eat up a loose puck. Hayden and Henrique jousting. And now a helmet was just popped off, but Colson drilled Mitchell Stevens in the mush.
Assist,
in the first.
Boom.
The potential combatants separated. Brown and Janmark conferring. Janmark's got the goal. Against the goaltender for the first time this season, and with that first Oiler goal tonight, Save-On Foods has given away their first prize. You go to the net, good things happen.
It always does, and a nice little entry into the zone. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins takes this puck to the middle, and that's where he finds Brown. Everybody's collapsed back to the middle. That's too much time they give him. He loads up and fires because he doesn't see anything else. But when you have a presence, like you said, Jack, Janmark gets a little arm on that one. You could see it drop after. They don't ask you how, like I said, and everybody on that line gets a point. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins extends his point streak to 3, and he continues his fine play as well. So that's a big goal for that line.
Yeah, so much was made of what Leon Draisaitl did in Connor McDavid's absence. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins raised his game during that 3-game suspension as well. Bouchard has the puck stripped. Jaden Schwartz to Vince Dunn. Across to Adam Larson. Took a one-timer that was blocked by Podkolzin. Now a race for the puck. And Arvidsson beaten by his countryman Larson. Shrugged him off ahead to Schwartz. Beniers will leave it in the corner. Noah Philp comes out of the fray with a puck and leaves it for Brett Kulak. Then one touched on to Kapanen. Noah Philp hitting the line. Perry gives it back to him. Philp tried to center, deflected right to Kapanen, and he whiffed on it. Bjorkstrand ahead to Tanev, and now Oliver Bjorkstrand whistles one off the side of the net. The ricochet play to the corner for Tanev. Trying to sneak one inside. That's intercepted by Perry. Kapanen will wedge it toward Perry, who shovels behind the net where Mahura was waiting. Turned over. Kulak a shot, and that clipped off the blocker of Joey Decord. That far post was available. Mahura knocked Perry off the puck, sent it up the right-hand side, clubbed out by Bjorkstrand. Bouchard into the Seattle bench. Did they get too many men? Did they get him?
There was a lot on the ice.
Pizza 73, Edmonton's homegrown #1 pizza. Hunger happens. Order on game day. Pizza 73, the official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers.
Here's that chance by Brett Kulak. Good pinch down the wall. He wins this puck battle. A little pass from behind by Stevenson that he reads, and then tries to go that far side, as you mentioned, just over the pad and under the blocker. Good save. No penalty on the play. There was a lot of Kraken players on the ice around that exchange.
I guess it climbed over the boards at one point. Hit a player on the bench. Bouchard to McDavid. He was shut down by Montour. And now Ekholm will find Leon Draisaitl. Still top goal scorer in the league. Ekholm a shot and a save made by Joey Decord way above the blue paint to take that one away. As the Oilers starting to push their way back into this game after they had really fallen quiet offensively.
Yeah, digging in. And this one here, Bouchard just tries to make that toe drag. The Kraken have done a nice job of collapsing back. You can see all 5 guys are in the center of the ice. They're trying to keep it to the outside, sticks on the ice. Very difficult to make plays through that formation. So that's the ticket. Get the shot to the net, have the traffic in front. Hyman had just gotten off the middle a little bit, gets into it a little bit with Montour afterwards, but have that screen in front of the net's already paid off with the first goal for them on a little bit of a lucky bounce off the arm of Janmark, but he was in the spot. And if they're going to collapse back into the zone, then take that opportunity to pound that pill through it.
Here's McDavid. Weaving and dishing for Corey Perry. One-timer and a save on Ekholm by Joey Daccord. Now you've got Kakko. Backhanding it in deep. Bouchard turned it over. Threaded through the slot. A drive by Dunn. Score! 2-1. Seattle regains the lead. Came out into the slot. And before Pickard could get set, it's in the back of the net. And the Kraken back on top. Vince Dunn will pick up his 10th of the year.
Seeing eye puck that goes through, you could tell it changed direction, a little bit of a hop even it looked like, but another turnover in the defensive zone for Edmonton. And they've had some troubles here. You know, just getting a puck out of their zone. This one just finds its way back out, and the shot through a screen actually just eludes Pickard. He doesn't pick it up. You could see trying to get in the way is Connor McDavid. Actually does go off the shin pad, and then it looks like it raises there. How does it pop up like that off the ice?
That's like you, back in your
knuckle
hometown, skipping rocks. That's what it did.
That's exactly what it did. It looked like it elevated his Pickard, handcuffed him, and finds its way through.
You used to kill 6-7 hours a day doing that, Lou.
Back and forth. Absolutely.
That's exactly what happened. It just elevated right off the ice, off that deflection. Done from Beniers.
Once it gets on edge and starts to bounce and tumble, it can catch an edge and pop up, and that's what happens. So Pickard thought it was going to be a low one. It kind of pops up and just squeaks by him.
Janmark, wrist shot and a save made on Nugent Hopkins by Daccord. It's not unlike a bad hop ground ball single in baseball. Not much you can do.
Nugent Hopkins here, yep. It's going to be a cross-checking penalty on McCann. Gets a little assertive with the stick a little bit on the... Roughing is going to be the call, it looks like. But right as this puck comes through, McCann kind of rubs him out. He gives him a little cross-check. I mean, he was already looking like he was going down. I mean, he just catches the pan. It's not much. And I think that's why the long look from Chris Knobloch afterwards. I mean, he came down on the edge of his pants, but I've seen a couple Kraken floor Edmonton players already in the defensive zone with cross-checks that were much worse than that, but that one's called. It was probably the reactionary style of the cross-check.
Off the draw, Vince Dunn. Second time in this game, Louis. Seattle up a goal and getting a power play. The last time they lost some momentum. And Rick hits Kapanen short-handed, a wrist shot off the blocker of Joey Daccord. Seattle power play, we told you, has not been great this year. Bjorkstrand knocked off his stick by Janmark. Tried to win a battle against Ekholm. Stevenson keeps the puck in for the Kraken. But when he tried to throw it across, it nicked on the right skate of Beniers. So with a minute to go, Seattle's Jaden Schwartz has to backtrack. Vince Dunn, the man with a go-ahead goal, set up by Beniers. That's a penalty. We're going to have 5-on-3. A little reach and a trip whistled against Connor Brown. And what an opportunity right now for the Kraken. A two-man advantage.
Going bad to worse here for Edmonton. And Brown always so good with that stick and trying to pickpocket, reaches in and takes down Burakovsky. And here's the goal again by Dunn. The slapper ticks off the skate, bang, finds its way up, maybe off the paddle of Pickard, just the way it came in as a knuckle puck, and hey, misses Dunn in the crowd. The mum strip for Seattle, and obviously the celebration as they see their boys go up to 2-1 and now have a 5-on-3 for 1:09, so a lengthy one.
Chandler Stevenson digs in, 44 seconds to go in the period. 5-on-3 for Seattle. Bjorkstrand second on the team with 4 power play goals. Shane Wright actually is the team leader with 5. He's on the second unit. Dunn. The dish on to Stevenson. Dunn, a one-timer. Deflected off the post. Came back off of Pickard and somehow stays out. Ekholm rifles it down the left-hand side. Even the 5-on-3 will have a carryover of about 25 seconds. Dunn off to Stevenson. Tries to set a screen for him, but Henrique traps him for Emberson, and a length of the ice clear. Seattle has to move it up quickly, and Decor does that to center ice. Dunn off to McCann. Pass comes back to McCann from Schwartz, and a shot blocked by Emberson to the point, and Dunn can't hold the zone. And Seattle's going to wait for a fresh sheet of ice. They'll start the second period with a pivotal 5-on-3 for about 25 seconds.
Yeah, good killing by Edmonton here to finish off this period. Good save by Pickard as well, and just good penalty killing. Here's the 5-on-4, the blast off the bar. I mean, that's a lot of traffic again. A little bit of contact there. That one probably would have been looked at again if it would have found the back of the net, because Pickard could not reach all the way out with the glove. I think of that one when it came back. And here's the block by Emerson at the end. A nice block into the heavy shooter McCann. Doesn't allow that to get to the net.
So the Oilers trailing 2-1 and down 2 men to start the second period. Seattle trying to snap a 7-game losing streak to Edmonton. We're live from Rogers Place on Sportsnet.
Here at Rogers Place, Seattle with a 2-1 lead over the Edmonton Oilers. We're getting ready for the second period of play. That Oilers 50-50 presented by Rogers. It's back with life-changing jackpots. Tonight's Feeding Oil Country 50-50 jackpot sitting at $359,000 and climbing. Our next lucky winner could be you. Get your tickets now at EdmontonOilers.com/50-50. Seattle starts this second period with a 5-on-3 for 25 seconds. Minute 16 left to go in the penalty to Brown.
Yeah, huge kill here for the Oilers. They had a good finish at the end of the first. Seattle had a couple misplays. Oilers got to find a way to keep them at bay here.
Oiler penalty kills brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers. You drop the puck. We're underway here in the second period. And Dunn has it inside his own end for Seattle up the right wing to Bjorkstrand. It down the right wing boards. Ekholm breaks it up, gets it down the ice. Dunn starting up the left wing. Penalty over to Nugent Hopkins in 5 seconds. Now to Chandler Stevenson into the Edmonton zone, drops the puck to McCann to the middle of Bjorkstrand. His shot, it's blocked, and it comes out to Nugent Hopkins, and he'll get it down the ice. Up the right wing, a pass for Schwartz, misses him. Pickard can set it. Nurse off the left wing glass and out. And down to 32 seconds left to go in the penalty to Brown. It's Bjorkstrand to center. At the Edmonton blue line, he'll shoot it in. Rims on the left to McCann. Lost it behind the net. Puck comes back to McCann. He'll get into the slot, but forced to the point. Gives it to Dunn, left wing. To Jared McCann, he'll shoot it. Save made by Pickard. The puck squeezes out to Janmark. He'll take his time. He'll get it up the left wing. A pass to Kapanen. He'll walk in the shot. Saved by Decord. And the penalty expires. Seattle 0 for 3 on the power play. Good chance there for Kasperi Kapanen down the left wing. Bouchard just missing Kapanen with it. He'll go down into the Seattle zone. Minute and a half gone in the second. 2-1 Kraken lead. Kako goes cross ice to Evans. Now in on the left to Burakovsky. He'll go cross ice to Beniers. He's in the right wing corner. Now to Burakovsky. He's in behind the goal to the left to the top of the circle. To the right point, Montour. Wanted to get it into the corners. Broken up by Ekholm. Up the right wing to Draisaitl. Now to McDavid. He'll come in. He'll shoot. Save. Rebound. Score! Connor McDavid got his own rebound, and this game tied at 2.
Great outlet pass right up the middle of the ice, and McDavid skated into the transition. And Leon Draisaitl, McDavid basically created a 2-on-1 as a result. It was a long stretch pass, and Draisaitl threads the middle to McDavid. McDavid picks up his own rebound as Decorit's going the wrong way. We get ourselves a tie game on Connor McDavid's 21st goal of the season.
Minute 57 into the second. The Oilers kill off the 5-on-3 and come back with a goal to tie the game up. Decord had no idea where that puck went after the initial stop. And McDavid with his own rebound. Alexiak into his own end. Through the middle. He gave it away. Puck gets into the slot. Arvidsson then checked on the play and out through center. It's McCann. Dishes on the left. Gave the puck on the left wing to Tolvin and couldn't get a shot through. Podkolzin to Arvidsson at the Edmonton blue line. Draisaitl and Ekholm get the assist.
It's a great stretch pass by Ekholm.
Nurse at his own line into the middle. Got it to Stetcher to the left wing corner to Phil. Put it up the boards and it does come out.
Good play by Kapanen. Phil put that puck in a tough spot and Kapanen picked his man off and
now to Philp down the left wing. The backhand saved by Decord as Philp tried to go short side upstairs. It goes off the shoulder at Decord and he covers it up.
Well, that time he put it to the net. I thought he might try to drop it short side back for Corey Perry. And almost. He almost got him cheating there. But quickly back to the McDavid unit.
Draisaitl will take the draw against Mitchell Stevens.
You get a 5-on-3, Seattle. Didn't create any. Oh, look out.
Now brought out up the left wing. Hayden's pass knocked down by Ekholm. He'll give it to McDavid. In over the line on the left side. Stops up. Passes the puck. It does not get to Hyman. It goes over to the left wing boards. McDavid recovers it to Draisaitl left corner in front of the net. Here's Hyman. The backhand saved by Decord. And he covered it up. For a second, he didn't know where it was again, but he got it.
Oilers got a first line versus fourth line matchup. And Hyman kicked it from a skate to a stick, and it was well defended by Dunn, who basically boxed across him out from in front of the net. What a pass by Leon. And Hyman was able to pick up the loose change around the net. Well, we're back to evens here. And given that it was 2-1 for Seattle late in the first
and a 5-on-3.
5-on-3. You'll take that if you're an Oilers partisan.
You got that right. Janmark to take the draw in the Seattle zone to the left to Decord. Up against Chandler Stevenson. Puck goes to the corner. Dunn. Got it out. Kulak, little bank pass to Nugent Hopkins. Now to the right. Janmark across to Brown. To the blue line. Nurse around the boards. Goes in behind the net. Over to the right. Brown trying to jam it back to the point. Burakovsky's able to break it up. Unable to get it out, but a second chance, and Burakovsky will clear as he gets to center. To Bjorkstrand, off his stick, and it goes into the Edmonton zone. Nurse behind the net. Rims it. Stevenson got the puck, got it to the high slot, goes to the right point. Montour off the corner boards, banks it to the side of the goal. Nugent Hopkins for Edmonton up the left wing, but Montour's pinching down, so Nugent Hopkins for Kulak. Up the right wing and down the ice. Won't be icing. Evans got to go after it. Got Connor Brown right on him. Brown to Janmark, right corner. Now in behind the goal it goes. Beniers to the corner. Trying to get away from Henrique. He's putting on the pressure. Evans up the left wing, but Schwartz gets forced back by Stetcher. Goes to Arvidsson. Has it right wing, top of the circle. Now to Podkolzin. Back to Arvidsson. Comes across the blue line. Down the left wing to Stetcher. He's going towards the net. Then has to go to the left wing corner with it. To the left wing point to Arvidsson. He'll walk to the middle. Arvidsson holds on. Still has it. Goes to the left point. Left wing to Podkolzin. To the right point. Stetcher didn't see it coming around, and it gets by him and down the ice.
So 3 chances for Arvidsson to put it to the net. Now the Oilers are under duress here.
It's in the right wing corner of the Oilers zone. It's skipping around. Emberson to the left wing on the backhand. Got it out to Hyman. Now to McDavid. Into the Seattle zone. Cuts across. Top of the circle. Shot blocked. Goes into the left wing corner. Hyman on the end boards. Ran into Mahura. It goes to Alexiak. Played it in front of his net to Mahura. Looking out through center ice. Then drift the puck into the Oilers zone. Schwartz digging after it. We'll go to Draisaitl behind the net. Drops the puck. To Bouchard now to Ekholm. He'll come up the left wing. We're tied at 2. We're here in the second. You played 5:40 of this second period. Ekholm has it at left side at center. Drills it to the right wing corner. Right to the line. That's not going to get out. Hyman to Draisaitl along the left side, top of the circle. Cross ice pass and poked by McDavid. It gets by Bouchard. It comes out. McCann into the Oilers zone to Tolvanen now on the right wing. Shane Wright. Right behind the Edmonton net. And McDavid's going to come skating up the right wing. McDavid pass to Draisaitl, in over the line. Down the left side, his shot. And that one glances off the Seattle stick, goes wide. Done in behind the goal, now up the right wing for Wright. At center, shoots it in. Kulak to Nurse. Nurse off the left wing boards to Perry. Into the middle and through the skates of Kapanen. Stevens lost it at the Edmonton blue line. Pass skips off the stick of Perry. DeCord's got to play it. Up the left wing to Dunn. Out of Hayden. Only to the Edmonton line, and it's Philp right back in on the left wing to Perry. Perry cuts to the middle. His shot, and it doesn't get through. Dunn to bring it out.
Stevens got away with the trip there.
Now to Tanev, that's offside at the Edmonton blue line. We're going to take a break. 7 minutes, 1 second gone here in the second. Tied at 2. The Oilers and the Kraken. From Rogers Place, it's Four Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network. Rogers Place, Oilers and Kraken tied at 2. Cam Moon along with Bob Stauffer. 7:01 gone in the second. Tolvanen and Dunn have scored for Seattle. It's been Janmark and McDavid for Edmonton. Face off outside the Edmonton blue line. The pass by Nurse, too far for Janmark. Icing against the Oilers. Oilers able to kill off a 5-on-3 that overlapped the end of the first, beginning of the second.
Swung the momentum in the game. I mean,
it usually does.
Seattle doesn't have a shot since then. No. Edmonton's rang off the last 7 shots in this game.
Face off to the right, Calvin Pickard. Puck gets to the high slot. Bjorkstrand will keep it in. Goes in behind the Edmonton net. Burakovsky over to the right, back to the right wing point. Montour across to Evans. Back to Montour. Montour, the snapshot. That one goes just off of Pickard after it was redirected. And the puck to the right point. Montour. His shot tipped on net and a save by Pickard. That one redirected by Bjorkstrand.
Well, with Riker Evans, Brandon Montour now, along with Vince Dunn, they got 3 defensemen that can really make plays in the back end. And we liked Riker Evans coming out of Regina, going all the way back to the, I guess that'd be the 22-23 season, right? Yes, yeah. 22-23 season. Really the start of the, we went into Everett to broadcast the game there, and he was excellent. You can tell he's really smooth. He was the other guy in Regina that was really good. They had this kid named Bedard. You might have heard of him.
He was all right, too.
He was okay, too.
Yeah. Up the right wing. Arvidsson will get it out to center ice. At center, he shoots it in. Comes on the right side. Montour to Evans, but he's got Arvidsson there. They got pinned up against the boards deep in Seattle territory. Comes up to the line. Stetcher kept it in through the slot. Montour will get it out. Now down the left side. Schwartz into the Oiler end to Beniers to Schwartz, and a great save made by Pickard. He got it with a blocker, and the puck cleared out. Montour has to go back into his own end. Around the right wing to Kakko. Give it to Beniers. Come into the Oilers zone on the right side. Goes to the right corner. Dug out of his skates by Ekholm to Draisaitl. Now it's center ice to Arvidsson. He can shoot it in. The cord will stop it in behind the net. Montour blasted up the right wing. Hit the stick of Kakko. Went off of Ekholm to Kakko, and he'll shoot it in. Bouchard gave it away, went off his stick to Burakovsky. Then Bouchard slid in front, broke it up. Burakovsky has a right corner into the slot. The shot by Dunn, save. Rebound up. Pickard got that with the left pad. The puck in the left wing corner. Matthias Ekholm out to center ice to Draisaitl. Now to McDavid. In over the line to the left wing. Forced to the left wing boards. Back to the point. Ekholm shot, save, rebound. Oh, that went off the crossbar. As Hyman hit the crossbar, and the puck brought out through center ice. Bjorkstrand to Burakovsky. Bjorkstrand through the middle, gave it away to McDavid. He'll fly through center, in over the line to Draisaitl, down the right wing to McDavid, just too far. Puck along the boards, and Burakovsky comes the other way. Into the Oilers zone on the right wing. Burakovsky slows up, shoots off the glove of Pickard. We're tied at 2. We're here in the second. Long breakaway pass brought in. It's Perry. Shot. Scores! Corey Perry on the breakaway. And the Oilers are up 3-2.
A 140-foot stretch pass there from Darnell Nurse. And Corey Perry caught the Seattle Kraken in a line change. And when you scored over 400 goals, you get a breakaway like that with the time and space. But Nurse makes the play right on the tape. And Perry sifts one home 5-hole for his 9th of the year.
9:38, time of the goal by Corey Perry. There was nobody anywhere remotely close to him on that play.
Well, that's 2 games in a row. Darnell Nurse with some excellent plays.
Tell you, that was chaos before that, though, at both ends of the ice. It's inside the Oiler end. Nurse will get it around the left wing boards. It hits Perry. Perry in front of his net to Stetcher. He will get it out. 3-2 Oilers lead here in the second period. They got 2 in this second period to take the lead. It's in behind the Edmonton net. Stetcher wraps it up the right, past Evans down the way down. It'll be icing against the Oilers. But end-to-end action.
To say the least.
Yeah, giveaways, chances.
The Oilers with 2 point-blank posts in this game. Draisaitl and Hyman. I'm still trying to figure out how Zach didn't score there. That's an important draw here for Phil. Granted, it's 4th line against 4th line.
Face off to the left of Pickard. Puck gets to the slot. Poke to the line. Doesn't get out. Montour with his shot. And that one glances off his Stetcher, and he'll bring it up the left wing. And at center ice, he shoots it in. Oilers make the change they're looking for. Montour up in the air and out. Emberson got it to center ice. Now to Janmark. Pokes it into the Seattle zone. 9:20 to go in the second. 3-2 Edmonton leads. Mitchell Stevens coming out for Seattle. Down the right wing to Tanev. He'll cut the puck in over to Hayden. The shot, the rebound just put wide by Montour. Montour followed the play, put it off the outside of the net. And it's Nugent Hopkins weaving his way to center ice for the Oilers. Over the Seattle line to Janmark. Comes down to the left wing, into the corner, to the top of the circle. Kakko able to break it up. To Montour, now to Kakko. He'll get it across to Evans. Into the Oilers zone, around the right to Tanev. Poked it back, and it's Emberson for Edmonton to get it out up the left wing. To Janmark, off the boards and in. Beniers. Across to Dunn. Up to Larson, skipped over his stick. Shot into the Oilers zone. Kakko's stick craters. It goes in behind the Edmonton net. Nurse holds off Schwartz. And Beniers follows it up. Gave it away. Up the left wing, getting it out. Arvidsson to center ice. Beniers all over him. Got it in over the line on the left wing. Puck goes to the left wing corner.
That was a hook. I mean, fans not happy. No call.
Beniers up the right wing to Schwartz. Across to Kakko. Missed him with it. Puck chopped out. And Henriques into the Seattle zone. Right side to Arvidsson. Arvidsson, a shot. And a blocker save made by Decord. Bjorkstrand through the middle to Beniers. Into the Oiler end to Schwartz. Will flip it into the right wing corner. 7:45 to go in the second. 3-2 Edmonton leads. Ekholm stops him behind the Oiler net.
Look at this. The Oilers are going to get their big line on the ice here because of a passive forecheck.
But then it goes off a stick and it goes right to Stevenson. He'll get it in front of the net and off the stick of Ekholm, covered by Pickard. And it'll be a face-off in the Oiler end. We're going to take a break. We got 7.5 to go in the second. Oilers have a 3-2 lead on the Kraken. From Rogers Place, it's Ford Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
This is the Oilers Radio Network.
Cam Moon and Bob Stauffer here in the Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Legacy Heating and Cooling, home and no payments, no interest for 1 year. Edmonton up 3-2 on Seattle after trailing 2-1 after 20 minutes. Connor McDavid and Corey Perry have scored for the Oilers here in the second. Face off to the right of Pickard. Puck back to the point. Evans put it down low. It'll get to Bjorkstrand. He'll get it out to Burakovsky. He's in the high slot now on the right. Montour will shoot it. Save made by Pickard. That one hit him up high. And Draisaitl will bring it out for the Oilers. Down the right wing. In over the line. To the middle. Bouchard comes over to the left wing. Top of the circle. Waiting. Walks to the middle. A shot. And that's off a stick. And Bjorkstrand will get it out for the Kraken. Bouchard will take it into his own end. Bouchard up the middle, finds McDavid. McDavid down the left wing. Just got the puck into the Seattle zone. Right to McCann. McCann bounces it in over the Edmonton blue line. Emerson to his partner, Ekholm. Ekholm spins in front of the Oiler net. Over to Ty Emerson. Up the left wing, that goes off the stick of Janmark into Seattle territory. Mahura around the right wing boards for Shane Wright. To the Edmonton blue line. Right checked. Nugent Hopkins gets it out to Connor Brown. Over center ice, he'll scoop the puck in. He goes after it. McCann. Right in behind the net to Alexiak. Get it out. That's probably going to be icing, and it will be. 6:07 to go in the second. 3-2 Oilers lead.
Well, there's been lots of chances. I mean, we're at 41 shots in this game right now, and there's 34 minutes left to play, so we're looking at about 75 shots on goal in the game. A lot of high event opportunities both ways. The Oilers have missed 2 open nets. Draisaitl's hit a post and crossbar for
Zach Hyman.
Yeah, and conversely, Seattle, Montour missed a wide open net on a rebound.
Face off to the left of Joey Decor. Philp wins the draw. Emerson down the right wing to Perry. Centered it off a leg. Comes back to the line. Stetcher to Emerson down the right wing. Is shot, and that's blocked. It goes off of Tolvanen. Puck on the inboards inside the Seattle zone. Tolvanen, the left wing for McCann. Back to Alexiak. Crossed to Mahura, but missed him with it. Kept in by Kapanen. Puck gets to the corner. On the left wing, Philp to the line just by Stetcher, and it gets out.
That's too bad. They had good puck possession. Get it up the ice here.
The left wing, Stetcher. It's pass at the blue line.
2 righties on the ice. And
now Hayden will direct it in. Skipped on Pickard. Emerson to Stetcher. Up the left wing boards. Off of Kapanen. Goes into the Seattle end. Dunn's got it. It's at the side of the net. Now through the middle. Vince Dunn. Long pass to Stevens. Off his stick. And that goes over the end glass in the Oilers zone. With 5:05 to go here in the second. We're going to take a quick break. 3-2 Oilers lead the Kraken from Rogers Place. It's Ford Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
Sportsnet Plus is your ultimate
Kraken. 5:05 to go here in the second period.
Well, it's been entertaining. It's been a little bit sloppy, but those often make for better games. Scoring chances in abundance either way.
Face off just outside the Edmonton blue line.
Pickard's made a couple great saves in this period.
Larson put it across the gun. He shot it into the Oilers zone. And it's up against the boards. Right wing corner. They got it tied up. Comes all the way across. Larson in from the blue line. Then lost the puck to Draisaitl in front of the net. To Kulak, and now to McDavid through center. Into the Seattle zone on the right wing. Stops up. It goes to Draisaitl. Draisaitl right corner. His return pass to McDavid. Picked off by Beniers.
Leon's got to shoot the puck there.
Beniers up the right wing boards to Schwartz. All the way across to Dunn. Into the Oiler end. Off the end boards. It's Nurse in behind the net. Reverses it to Brett Kulak. One hand pushes it to Draisaitl, comes into the Seattle zone down the right wing. He'll take a backhand off the outside of the post. That's going to go out of play.
He had him.
He had room short side.
It's 2 posts for Leon in this game.
Just missed on that one. 4:12 to go in the second. 3-2 Oilers lead. Right up where the post meets the crossbar on the short side. There was a little room there.
Sometimes that deflects down and in.
Yep, exactly.
Often if you'd watched the Saskatoon Blades back in about 1989-90.
Yeah, they did tend to go in.
Still were good enough to play in the league. That's more like I say.
Arvidsson's stick cratered in behind the Seattle net. He's got to go get a fresh one. He does. Puck out to center ice, and it's Arvidsson with it. Into the Seattle zone on the right wing. Now to Podkolzin in the corner. Back to Arvidsson. He'll shoot wide of the net. Rims and past Ekholm and out.
And Henrique, with one of his patented tip-ins from about 2 feet away, almost scored.
Evans, bank pass, goes off of Bjorkstrand. Back to Evans. He's deep in his own zone. Goes in behind the Seattle net. Dodging the broken stick. Now up the right wing to Bjorkstrand. To Burakovsky. He'll shoot it in. We'll go to Nurse. He's got it. He'll go in behind the Edmonton net. Left side to Matthias Ekholm. Now up the left wing for Connor Brown. Got it into the Seattle end. Left wing corner to Janmark. Janmark to the corner for Brown. Now behind the net, Nugent Hopkins. Goes over to the right. Up to the top of the circle. His pass to Stetcher. Now down the left wing to Nurse. Got it to the middle of Janmark. Knocked off his stick and it comes out.
Oilers have passed off too many opportunities here. At 3-2, they've had lots of chances to add. Haven't put enough pucks to the net.
Under 3 to go in the second. 3-2 Oilers lead the Kraken. Alexiak in his own end. Jams it up the left wing boards to the line. Stetcher unable to keep it in. It comes out. Nurse got it through center ice. Stetcher chopped the puck in. Alexiak. Bank pass to Tolvanen. Into the Oilers zone on the right now. The right wing to McCann. Back to the left wing point. Alexiak winds up. Blasts a shot off the arm of Pickard. Tolvanen has it left wing corner. Taken into the corner by Emberson. Got it up against the boards. It comes free to Nurse. Win behind the net. He'll stop. Now up the right side to Nugent Hopkins. Give it to Brown at the left wing at the Edmonton blue line. Back into the zone.
They need to get off the ice here.
Nurse has it and will hold on to it in his own ends. We're coming up to 2 minutes to go here in the second period. 3-2 Edmonton leads. Nurse left side to Philp. He'll get it out. Hayden there for Seattle. He'll dump it in. It's in the right wing corner of the Edmonton zone. Emberson and Hayden. Comes over to the other side. Philp helps it up the left wing. Perry clears it. Kapanen will dump it in behind Dunn. Dunn comes back for it to Beniers. In front of his own net. Beniers out to center ice. Goes off his stick. Dunn follows the play. Into the Oiler end on the right wing. Rims the puck to the left. Kakko got it to the end boards. And now Kasperi Kapanen up the right wing for Edmonton. He's going to float it down the ice. He didn't want icing, but he got icing with 1:10 to go here in the second. The Oilers are up 3-2.
So now a huge draw for Noah Philp late in the period here. Needs at least a soft.
Yeah. Face off to the right. Calvin Pickard. Shots have been 10-8 for Edmonton here in the second. Oilers have the only 2 goals.
They get their top line on the ice, though, against a tired group, and Philp won.
Philp wins the draw. Like a rim to the point, but Montour's going to keep it in. To Beniers, left wing corner. Now to Schwartz, that goes off a stick and will go out of play. And the Oilers will be able to make a change with 59 seconds to go.
That was a clean face-off win for Philp, and they hard-wrapped it around, hard-ripped it around the boards. And unfortunately for Edmonton, Corey Perry couldn't quite get there. But the Oilers now get their top line to go top line out. Burakovsky's had a very pedestrian season so far. This guy's got a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Played with Connor and Erie for Chris Knobloch in 13-14.
Oilers win the draw, and McDavid will come up the left wing. Shoot it into the Seattle zone on the right side. Puck goes to Hyman, and behind the net to McDavid. Centering pass, and that one just put wide. Goes to Bouchard. His shot kicked out by Decor. Draisaitl cross-ice pass off the stick of Chandler Stevenson, and it's cleared. 36 seconds left to go in the second period. 3-2 Oilers lead as McDavid starts it up the right wing. Comes into the Seattle zone on the right side. Stops up. Burakovsky took him to the end boards. Now Evans gets in there too. Puck goes to Hyman. He's in behind the net. Out to Ekholm, and his shot goes high and wide. Bouchard keeps it in right point to McDavid in behind the net. 12 seconds to go in the period. Puck back to the blue line. Bouchard, left wing corner to Hyman. Hyman goes in behind the goal. Now on the right to Draisaitl in front of the net. Put towards the goal, but it was blocked, and the period will end. The Oilers will have a 3-2 lead here through 40 minutes. Oilers get the only 2 goals of that period. But, Bob, lots of action, both ends of the rink.
Well, Edmonton's been a very good second period team all season long. They were again in this one. Technically, they only outshot St. Louis 11-8, but the A-grade scoring opportunities were 5-2 for Edmonton in that period. It started with a great kill. The Oilers have only had 1 power play in this game, but Kraken's best period's been their third. Oilers are going to need to match it.
Oilers have now outscored their opposition 70-38 in second periods this year. That, my friends, is pretty good. 3-2 Oilers lead Seattle after 40. It was Connor McDavid and Corey Perry scoring for Edmonton in the second period. Matthias Janmark scored for the Oilers in the first. It was Eeli Tolvanen and Vince Dunn getting the goals for the Kraken in the first period. 3-2 Oilers after 40. Here at Rogers Place, Cam Moon along with Bob Stauffer. We're getting ready for the third period of play. The Edmonton Oilers have a 3-2 lead on the Seattle Kraken. Janmark, McDavid, and Perry have all scored for Edmonton. Tolvanen and Dunn with the goals for Seattle. Been a high-event game through 40.
It has, except low-event goal totals.
Yes.
The Oilers have hit 2 goalposts. That's played a factor in this game tonight. And Seattle's missed a 5-on-3 opportunity. Didn't capitalize on that. Usually that's a recipe for disaster.
Yep. Puck goes to Bouchard across the Edmonton blue line to Ekholm up the right wing off the stick of Hyman. It goes into the Seattle zone. The cord to play it. Rims it. It hit Hyman. It goes to the middle. It's McDavid in front of the net. And that one doesn't connect with Draisaitl, and puck cleared out. Draisaitl had to go right off his stick to Schwartz. He had nobody to give it to, so he has to dump the puck in.
The puck touches have been a little off tonight.
Yeah, both ways.
Both ways.
Now Hyman into the Seattle zone down the left wing. He'll drive to the net, and it goes off his stick. Draisaitl to the point. Bouchard across the Stetcher. His shot, and that one deflected wide. Draisaitl on the right wing. Brings it up to the right wing point. Tries to turn it down the boards. Ran into Schwartz. Loose puck to Beniers. Beniers in his own end gets tripped by Arvidsson. Penalty coming up once Arvidsson touches it. Now he does. And the Kraken will get their 4th power play of the evening.
And that play can't happen, Cam.
No.
Got to be better than that. 180 feet away from your net. I mean, that's as obvious as you get.
Tripped up Beniers. Arvidsson goes to the box. Oiler penalty kill. It's brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Face off to the left of Pickard. Puck goes to the corner. It comes in front of the net. Pickard just leaves it there for Nugent Hopkins, and he'll get it down the ice. Montour out of his own end up the right wing. Fires it back to Tolvanen. In turn, gives the puck to Kakko. Gets it in over the Edmonton blue line. McCann lost it in the corner. Ekholm shoots it all the way down.
His first pairing D for Edmonton on the PK is really progressing here with Ekholm. Well, basically anybody that plays at that seems to play pretty well, and Emerson's finding that out.
Funny how that is. Puck it's broken up at the blue line by Kulak. So McCann at center to Tolvanen. Now to Montour. Gets this just over center. Shoots it in. Puck rims. And it was offside against Seattle. Oilers did a good job of contesting the blue line.
They did.
Minute 7 left to go on the penalty to Arvidsson. Minute 52 into the third. Oilers have a 3-2 lead on the Kraken. Oilers were in Seattle January 4th. That was a 4-2 win.
And Seattle's played much better tonight than they did that night.
Yeah, they didn't play very well that night. Grubauer was really good. In
fact, I thought they were listless last night.
Stevenson into the Oilers zone, goes to the right wing corner. Now gets control behind the net to Bjorkstrand. On the left wing, it was past Schwartz. It missed him, and it goes out of the zone. So Beniers forced back by Podkolzin. Now comes up the right wing, cuts through the middle, into the Oiler end.
Isn't it?
Puck gets to the left wing corner. Now over to the right, where Stevenson's trying to get it loose. It's rimmed to the point. There's nobody there for Seattle. And getting it out is Podkolzin. He'll dump it all the way down. Kapanen pokes it around the boards to Emberson. Now to Podkolzin. Has it right corner in the Seattle zone. They'll play it out. It comes to center ice. Then Beniers hit by Podkolzin. Puck goes to Emberson. He'll shoot it all the way down. Just 10 seconds left to go in the penalty to Arvidsson. Larson has it in behind his net for Seattle. Off the right wing boards, it gets to center ice. Puck shot back in by Brown. Penalty over. Seattle's 0 for 4 on the power play. It's a 3-2 Oiler lead. Just over 3 minutes gone here in the third period. Riker Evans has the puck for Seattle. Now to Burakovsky into the Oiler end. Goes to the left wing. He'll stop up. Into the corner now. Gave it to Stevens. Back to the point. Evans to the right wing corner. To Larson has come in from the blue line. Goes in behind the Edmonton goal. Over to the left. Getting worked over by Kulak. Puck on the end boards. Comes out to Tanev, but off his stick. Over to the right wing, and it's McDavid to pick it up. He'll come down that right side. Runs into Evans. Puck goes into the corner. Tanev around to Burakovsky. Burakovsky being pressured by Hyman. Puck goes to the netminder to Core. We'll give it to Evans. Up in the air and just out. Ekholm will bank pass to Draisaitl. Now to McDavid down the right wing in over the line. Pass across the one-timer. A save by DeCord off of Hyman. And the puck to the blue line where Tanev will get it out. Bouchard through the middle. Nobody there for the Oilers. 3-2 Oiler lead.
Great pass by McDavid.
Mahura into the Edmonton zone. Goes to the left wing corner. 4:15 into this third period. It's in behind the Oiler net. McCann to the blue line. Tolvin in his shot. And that one hit Pickard up high and goes into the corner. Up to the line, and Philp will get it out. Down the right wing, he's by himself. Oilers are making changes. Dumped it to the corner. Alexiak there for Seattle. Left wing to McCann. Cross ice is able to get it out. Tolvin in him. Play it back into his end. Mahura now across to Alexiak. Give it to Josh Mahura. Through the middle, is looking for Hayden. He was tied up by Stetcher. Emberson in his own zone for the Oilers. Up to the line, kept in by Bjorkstrand. He'll make a little move. He'll shoot it. Tipped just wide. May have gone off of Pickard. Puck goes over to the left wing. Bjorkstrand to the blue line to Dunn. His shot saved by Pickard. He holds onto it with Hayden right in front of the net. 5:05 gone in the third. Oilers up 3-2.
Well, Nugent Hopkins had hopped on the ice for Noah Philp, but it was Kapanen and Perry that have been out there. Right now, Perry's got the go-ahead goal for the Oilers on a great stretch pass from Darnell Nurse. And Connor McDavid passed through the seam to Zach Hyman, and he wired one on net. And DeCord's been good, too.
Yep.
He's fronted some bucks in this game. And the Oilers got a little bit of a fortuitous ricochet wide of the net on a little bit of spillage from Calvin Pickard.
Puck goes behind the Edmonton goal. Nurse will get it up the left wing. It's too far for Janmark, but then DeCord gave it away to Janmark in front of the net to Nugent Hopkins, just off his stick, and it's cleared. Go all the way down into Edmonton territory. Nurse on the inboards ran into Kakko. Puck in behind the net. Kakko around to the right wing point to Larson. Across to Dunn. He'll shoot it towards the net. Comes off the inboards. Goes to Kakko. He'll center it. Goes through the slot and over to the right wing. We're getting it out to center ice. It was Janmark. Gave it to Brown. He'll shoot it in. Don will slow things down. Oilers will make some changes. Larson's got it in behind the Seattle net. Larson up through the middle off of Bjorkstrand. It's at the Edmonton blue line. Bouchard to Matthias Ekholm. On the left wing, got the puck in. It comes across to Henrique. The shot and a pad saved by DeCord after getting that pass from Arvidsson. Puck on the right wing point. Bouchard to Podkolzin. Podkolzin to Arvidsson. Hit him in the skate. Goes to the left wing point. It's Bouchard. making a couple of moves. Gives the puck to Arvidsson. Across to Ekholm. His one-timer, and it's kicked out by Decord. And Stevenson's going to get it out. Wanted the breakaway pass to Bjorkstrand, but it went off the stick of Bouchard. Now a long pass to Arvidsson. Comes into the Seattle zone down the right wing. To the right wing corner. Arvidsson in behind the net to McDavid. To the left. Now to Draisaitl. The angle shot off the pad of Decord. Puck cleared to the line. It does come out. Kulak just inside the Edmonton blue line. To Nurse now on the right to Draisaitl. 3-2 Oilers here in the third. 7 minutes gone. To the blue line. Kulak will blast a rising shot and is saved by Decord. McCann will bring it out up the right wing for Seattle. Comes into the Oilers zone. Pinned to the wall by Kulak. Shane Wright trying to keep it in for the Kraken. He does. In behind the net to McCann. To Wright off the outside of the goal. McCann has it on the left wing. To the point. There was nobody there for Seattle. It goes down the ice. Alexiak with it in his own end for the Kraken. Now to Mahura. To Hayden, comes into the Oilers zone, stops in the right wing corner with it. Behind the net to Stevens. Stevens out to Hayden, shot, and that one goes off of Pickard, not a play, and we get the whistle. We're going to take a break. 7:45 gone here in the third. 3-2 Oilers lead the Kraken from Rogers Place. It's Ford Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network. Game 4 of 6 in a row at home for the Oilers. Oilers at home Thursday against Detroit. Face off in the Edmonton zone. It goes to the right point. Larson over to Schwartz on the left side. Tried to go through the middle. It doesn't work. Goes to Kakko in behind the net. Kakko waiting back there. His pass off the stick of the netminder Pickard. And the puck to the right wing where Beniers will keep it in for Seattle. Stetcher trying to poke it up the left wing. It gets to the top of the circle to the blue line. Beniers across the line to Dunn. Dunn in front of the net, and that's swept away by Stetcher. Schwartz will keep it in. Now on the right to Dunn. Dunn cross ice, picked off by Brown, but it goes over to the boards where Beniers will get control. Left wing to Schwartz. Into the corner to Kakko. Kakko up against the boards with Nurse. The puck comes loose. Right wing jammed off the right side by Janmark, and it's out to center. Nugent Hopkins to Janmark into the Seattle zone. Got it to the right corner. That's it.
Good work back to the puck there by the Kraken. Oilers haven't been able to get a chance for a break. Oilers get a much-needed change here.
Bouchard on the right wing to Draisaitl. Through the middle. Hits a stick. And Bjorkstrand for Seattle. Now on the right wing, it got the puck off the right side, and Montour put it off the side of the net, hit the glass, and covered by Pickard. 10:58 to go in the third, 3-2 Oilers lead.
So Montour is starting to gamble and step up, and he can really skate. Like you're talking about a guy that can really activate from the back end, create opportunities and mismatches. You got to recognize that he can attack you with pace and tempo, and he's going to go.
Face off to the left of Pickard. The left corner to Ekholm. Will bounce it out to center. Side his own line with Stevenson. Down the left wing to Bjorkstrand. Across to Burakovsky, and he ripped it wide of the net. What a chance there for the Kraken. Puck to the blue line. And it's McDavid on the right wing to Draisaitl. Into the Seattle zone. He'll go towards the middle to the point, but that gets picked off. And Bjorkstrand will get it out.
Leon, he put Boosh in no man's land. Look out.
Puck comes in front of the net and back to the right wing point. Right to Montour. His centering pass off his stick goes all the way over to the right wing. And it's Draisaitl to Ekholm. Long pass looking for Hyman. It misses. Rims into the Seattle end. We're almost halfway through the third. 3-2 Oilers lead the Kraken. Montour makes his way out of his own end through the middle. Lost it at the Edmonton blue line. It's in the slot. Todd Colson to Kulak. Now on the right to Emberson. To Brett Kulak. Up the left wing in the Oiler end. Arvidsson finds Todd Colson. He'll come through center. Now into the Seattle end. That's poked off his stick. Alexiak will turn it up. Give it to Wright. Now to McCann. Into the Oiler end. Right wing for Tolvanen. Fanned on a one-time shot. Goes in behind the Edmonton goal. Emerson rimming it. Alexiak kept it in. To McCann, to Alexiak. His shot. That saved by Pickard. He doesn't know where the rebound is. It goes to the slot, and it's shot, and a stick saved by Pickard as he recovers. Puck cleared out and down the ice. It'll be icing against the Oilers. So 9:16 to go in the third. 3-2 Oilers lead, but the Kraken getting some pressure.
Well, this has been an impressive push from Seattle. And Edmonton's got to start moving their feet a bit. This is a little bit about similar to what happened against Buffalo. Buffalo's ears perked up a bit. They realize, hey, you can play with these guys. Get after them, push them.
Face off to the right of Pickard. The puck top of the circle. Schwartz to the right point. Adam Larson across the line. That does come out. Dunn has to retreat. To his own end to Larson. Larson right through the middle. Just off the stick of Kakko. Otherwise, he would have had a partial break. Puck gets into the corner. It's Nurse in there for the Oilers. Kakko able to knock it over to the boards, and it'll be Schwartz back to the line. He'll give it to Larson. Now on the right wing to Beniers. His shot just off the arm or the stick of Pickard, and it goes out of play. It knocked the stick right out of Pickard's hand. We're going to take a break. 8:42 to go in the third period. 3-2 Oilers lead the Kraken from Rogers Place. Sport Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network. Here at Rogers Place, 3-2 Oilers lead the Kraken. 8:42 to go in the third period. Cam Moon along with Bob Stauffer. We're in the Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home and no payments, no interest for 1 year. Face off the Edmonton zone to the left of Calvin Pickard. Kraken been starting to come on here a little bit. They have won 3 of 4 coming into this one tonight. And the puck to the left wing corner. Ekholm off the left wing boards and out. At center ice, Beniers. Right wing to Schwartz to Kakko. Ekholm. Good to get a hold of it and get it out. Drilled right back in by Dunn. They're offside are the Kraken. They have to vacate the zone as Ekholm brings it out, and he'll get to center. He'll shoot it in. It's going to wrap around the glass, go over to the left. Draisaitl along the boards with Larson. Got knocked down. It's underneath. It goes top of the circle. Kakko will get it out through the middle of Dunn. Dunn in over the line to Schwartz, and stripped a bit by Bouchard. Now to Hyman. Hyman comes into the Seattle end on the left wing. Stops up in the slot. Drops it. McDavid across to Draisaitl. He fanned on the one-timer. Puck comes out. Hyman shot. That's off a leg. Goes wide. McDavid out of the right corner. To the point to Kulak. Now to McDavid. McDavid going towards the net to Draisaitl. Has it on the right wing. Goes over to the right boards. To the blue line to Kulak. Comes across the line to the left. Now to the left wing corner. Kulak behind the net. Give it to McDavid. To the point. Nurse blasts the shot. Right pad save made by DeCord. It's centered in front, but broken up by Beniers. He'll clear it. Oilers with great pressure. Nurse on the right wing to McDavid. In over the Kraken line. To Draisaitl. Shot. And a save made by DeCord. Puck into the slot. Stevenson will rim it up the left wing to Burakovsky. Edmonton makes a quick change. Burakovsky into Edmonton territory. Stops on the left side, top of the circle. Knocked away by Perry and out. 6:58 to go here in the third. 3-2 Oilers lead. Burakovsky, left wing. Fired cross corner into the Oilers zone. Bjorkstrand put it off a skate. Goes in front of the net. Emberson up the right wing to the line. Evans kept it in. Goes to Bjorkstrand on the right wing. Into the corner. Chandler Stevenson. Back to the point. Montour's shot. Saved by Pickard. And the rebound just chopped wide of the net. Stetcher off the left wing boards. That's not going to get out. Kept in by Bjorkstrand. Around to the left wing point to Evans. Back down low. Burakovsky. He gets tied up. Emberson got it to the corner, but Stevenson there for Seattle. Goes to the top of the circle. Kapanen could clear it out.
Good play by Philp. He just was able to seal the wall enough there.
Puck bounced into the Oilers zone. Bouchard on the end boards. To Henrique, right wing corner to Stetcher. Goes up into the air. Now Perry will get it to the line. It doesn't get out. Right to Montour. His shot. And that one changed speed and direction. Kicked out by Pickard. It's on the right wing. McCann
Oilers got to get it out here.
And they do. It's Perry up the left side now to Henry to center ice. He'll dump it in. 5:42 to go in the third. 3-2 Oilers lead. Bouchard on the right wing point. Comes across the line to the left. The backhanded in behind the net. It finds Arvidsson. Arvidsson on the right wing. Get some help from Podkolzin. Podkolzin to the blue line to Ekholm. To Bouchard, now to Arvidsson, his shot, and that whistles wide, and it comes in front, and the save by Decord. He'll cover it with 5:16 to go in the third period. 3-2 Oilers lead the Kraken. We're going to take a break from Rogers Place. It's Ford Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network. Face-off will be in the Seattle zone to the right of Joey Decord with 5:16 to go here in the third. Cam Moon along with Bob Stauffer. 3-2 Oilers lead. Draisaitl, McDavid, and Hyman. They're out there with Bouchard and Ekholm. They dropped it once, it wasn't right.
Seattle with 4 power plays in this game, including an extended 5-on-3, and they weren't able to score in any of them. Now the linesmen are deking out 2 centers.
All right, well, let's try it again. Face-off one, it goes to Ekholm. Left point across to Bouchard. Down the right wing to McDavid. To the corner. One hands it off the back of the net.
That was well played by Mahura. It's well played because they didn't call it.
Alexiak at the Edmonton blue line stood up. That's offside against Seattle.
Connor got a call in the first shift of the game. The Oilers haven't got one since. Seattle's played well. Connor's having a conversation right now with longtime official Francois Saint Laurent.
Face-off just outside the Edmonton blue line.
Paul Coffey's got Troy Stetcher out here with Darnell Nurse in the final 5 minutes of this game.
Nurse, get it out to center ice. Puck goes to Dunn now inside his own blue line to Larson. On the left, that pass was in behind Schwartz. So Brown's able to shoot it in for the Oilers. Nugent Hopkins in on the forecheck. Ties up with Larson. It's on the end boards. It's in behind the Seattle net. Now Larson sweeps it up the right. And Kako will get it out to Schwartz into the Oilers zone. He'll get hit by Stetcher. Now Brown up against the boards with Beniers. He'll go to Schwartz from the angle, and it goes right into the glove of Pickard. With 4:19 to go here in the third period. 3-2 Edmonton leads. Face-off will be to the right of Pickard. Tried it once, wasn't good.
Too much of that tonight.
Yep, it's been a lot of that. All right, Burakovsky into the face-off circle with Draisaitl. Puck goes to Bouchard. He'll get it up in the air and out. A bouncing puck to Zach Hyman. Now to Draisaitl. Into the Seattle zone. Stops on the right wing boards. To the blue line to Bouchard. Bouchard, right wing to Draisaitl. Draisaitl to Bouchard. One-time shot. Tipped towards the net. It goes off the pad of Decord. Puck in behind the goal. Montour. Up the right wing to Bjorkstrand. Now to Evans. Evans at center ice. He'll shoot it in. 3:48 to go here in the third. 3-2 Edmonton leads. Puck shot out just off the stick of Hyman. Decord's going to have to come out and play it. Route to Montour. Right wing corner. Now behind the net to Evans. Evans will weigh it in behind the Seattle net with 3.5 to go in the third.
He's got a reload on a stationary breakout with his fourth line on the ice in the final 3.5 minutes.
Tanev to Evans. Around to Larson, up the right wing to Hayden. Hayden will shoot it in. After it in the right wing, or on the right wing boards, was Hayden. Kulak's got it pinned. Henrique will get it loose. It goes to Podkolzin. Right wing to Arvidsson. Still inside the Edmonton zone. And Dunn comes in. He gets it loose, and he missed Hayden with the pass, and it comes out and goes down the ice. Those will make a quick change.
Arvidsson and Dunn giving each other a stick there. At what point does Dan Bilesma pull?
Probably fairly soon.
The cord.
Schwartz in his own zone. Oilers up by 1 here in the third period. Now to Larson. Larson back to Dunn. Up the left wing, McCann will direct it in. There goes DeCord to the bench for the extra attacker. Puck rimmed up the right wing, off the stick of Brown. And Bjorkstrand will take it back into his own end.
Those guys can peel off any time here. They've extended their shift, Cam.
To Schwartz, he'll shoot it in. Montour behind the net to Stevenson. He's got it up against the end boards. Nugent Hopkins trying to dig it loose. It does come free, and it's Bjorkstrand on the left wing, under 2 to go in the third. To Dunn to the right side. The one-time shot by McCann doesn't get through. Goes to the left wing corner, sent to the line. Montour keeping it in. His shot towards the net goes off of Emberson. Up to the high slot to the blue line. Dunn down the left wing to McCann. McCann in the left wing corner. To the point to Dunn. Across the line of Bjorkstrand. Now to Dunn. Dunn on the left wing. To the side of the net. Schwartz centers it. Comes back to the blue line. Goes to the right corner. Stevenson's got it for Seattle. 3-2 Oilers. Minute 23 to go here in the third. Puck in behind the Edmonton net. Trying to dig it loose is Chandler Stevenson. It goes to the right side. Bjorkstrand. Now a loose puck. Nugent Hopkins will get it up the left wing to Brown. Can't get it out. Kept in. Montour, one-timer wide of the Oiler goal. Bjorkstrand, right corner. Lost it to Ekholm. He'll skip it down the ice. Scores! Matthias Ekholm from 200 feet away. Gets the empty net goal. Puts the Oilers up 4-2.
Just the look of resignation on the faces of the Seattle players. They're laughing at the Oilers bench. Matthias Ekholm's going to end up with a goal and assist in this game. And that is a fortuitous clearing attempt. Went off of the stick of the Seattle forechecker. And he couldn't have called that any better.
19:02 time of that goal. As Ekholm gets his 7th of the year. And the Oilers are the 4-2 lead with 57.6 left to go here in the third period. Kulak back into his own end with it. Now on the right, it goes to Kapanen. Kapanen to Podkolzin. Across in front to Henrique. It didn't really get a shot away. Kakko up the right side will get it out. Hit somebody at the Seattle bench, and we get the whistle. Boston Pizza's Oiler for a Day program is back. Head to your local Boston Pizza. Purchase a kid's meal for their chance to become an honorary Edmonton Oiler. Visit EdmontonOilers.com/Oiler for a Day for full details.
What an addition Matthias Ekholm has been.
Oh, unbelievable.
I mean, it's unreal.
Unreal. On the left side, Podkolzin to Kulak, right wing to Kapanen. Will direct it into the Seattle zone. 4-2 Oilers here with 26 seconds to go in the third period. Puck cleared out.
Cam, the Oilers won this game tonight, late in the first, early in the second.
On that 5-on-3 they killed off.
Yep.
Evans into his own end will go in behind the net. Up the left wing, get it out to center ice for Kakko. Nata Beniers stops inside the Oilers' own left wing, knocked off his stick to the line, and it just gets dumped in. The Edmonton Oilers will win this one. 4-2 the final over the Seattle Kraken. Calvin Pickard improves to 13-4 on the season, picking up the victory. And the Edmonton Oilers, who are down 2-1 after the first period.
Penalty killers won the